Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First off, let's begin with your weather. Earlier today, we saw rain and snow in all parts of New Hampshire. Some parts mixing, some parts just heavy rain, and some parts are snow and then rain, and then it cleared out. Let's see what your evening weather looks like for this evening and the rest of the week as well. Let's go to meteorologist Kevin Scriba with your weather forecast.
A white and wet storm continuing to make its way across the state. Some spots over a foot of heavy wet snow causing outages, while in southeastern areas of the state it has been mostly falling in the form of rain, and in some spots over an inch and a half of rainfall. You will notice as we record this for you just after 11:30, area of low pressure located just offshore lifting northward, and with that the back edge of any accumulating precipitation in southern New Hampshire continuing to slowly lift northward. But it's going to take its time moving out of the northern half of the state this afternoon and into this evening, leading us to additional accumulation. And in some spots, we're talking 2 to 5 additional inches of snow on top of what you have seen to this point, which north of the notches has been less than central parts of the state, but you will play a little bit of catch-up here going forward. Notice futurecast as we go through the afternoon. Back edge slowly lifting northward, but in the North Country, White Mountains, portions of the Upper Valley, portions of the Mount Washington Valley, we're still looking at some snow, which will tend to linger later on tonight and early tomorrow morning, while skies will try to clear across southeastern areas. Clouds, a few sunny breaks tomorrow. Notice the lingering light snow for the White Mountains, and some portions of western New Hampshire will continue with an additional inch of accumulation a possibility, while skies will start to dry out as we work our way later into Wednesday night and Thursday. I think Thursday and into Friday will be in between systems. An additional 3 to 6 inches of accumulation from northern portions of the Upper Valley, north of the Lakes region, White Mountains, Great North Woods, all in that zone, while central and southern areas of the state away from that area look to see a light coating to maybe an additional inch just over the next few hours. A couple of lingering areas of light snow and snow showers tomorrow, and then we're in the 30s to near 40 with partial sunshine Thursday and Friday. A couple of mixed showers a possibility early on Saturday.
Okay, and that's a look at your weather forecasts and your 7-day forecast. And now let's take a look at your evening traffic commute home from work and wherever you went today. And here's a look at your traffic, and here's a look how your ride home is shaping up this evening. We're seeing a lot of green and yellow roadways and red roadways as well. Near the Londonderry area in Windham, we're seeing stopped traffic right here. We will try to figure out what is causing that. And we got yellow, red, and black over here in the Nashua and Merrimack area. And yellow and red and a little bit of black near the Manchester area. Yellow and red in the Concord area. Epping and Raymond area. Yellow and red and a little bit of black right here. And Portsmouth and Seacoast area, a little bit of yellow and red as well. And towards Barrington and Rochester as well. Otherwise, your traffic is moving pretty okay for your evening commute. And now let's take a look at your evening news for this evening. Tens of thousands of power outages reported. Let's go to Mike Cronin with that report.
Well, Amy, right now the snow, kind of a rainy mix, is very lightly falling in New Boston, practically gone at this point. Some parts of the roads are slippery, but for the most part, downtown is mostly clear. Take a look at this scene. This is what we saw this morning in Warner. We're seeing scenes like this across the state today. Down trees and power lines blocking roads as crews respond to calls as quickly as they can. Eversource says about 29,000 of its New Hampshire customers are without power right now, and they've restored more than 42,000 since last night. The utility company says most of the impact is north and west of Concord in areas that got wet, heavy snow. Officials expect there could be additional damage and outages today, and they'll likely be working through tomorrow.
The hardest hit areas were Tilton, Newport, and north of Lake Winnipesaukee. That's where we're focusing our resources. We have over 300 line, tree, and service crews working, and they'll continue working around the clock until all of our customers are restored.
And Eversource is reminding people to stay away from downed power lines, and if you come across one, report it to 911 right away. Reporting live in New Boston, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Cleanup begins as heavy, wet snow blankets much of the state. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
You could hear trees snapping, branches falling down, and it went on for hours.
In the daylight hours across northern New Hampshire, the cleanup continues. Some already tired of it.
I wish it was start of spring, to be honest with you.
Gerard Goodville was out snowblowing for the third time this season.
It's kind of heavy snow, but the snowblower doesn't. I have a gentleman plow my driveway, so I just do the touch-ups.
Anthony Smith was clearing about a foot of snow from his driveway. Although up in elevation, it was still heavy and wet.
This lilac bush, I believe it is, or something, but it stands up to where you can't see those wires when it's standing up. This snow has it all pushed down.
Plows were also out clearing roads as the storm wound down. Patrick Dumont drove home from the airport during the height of the storm.
Rough ride getting home, but it was a little ugly when we got home.
Tuesday also found the Whites out shoveling their driveway. While normally this would be a day off, thanks to technology, they're able to keep in touch with their students at Moultonborough Academy.
They log into the network and they get their assignments for the day. And we make ourselves available to help any student that needs help during the day.
And while winter doesn't officially start for another 3 weeks, it looks like it's here, ready or not.
My snowblower is still back in the garage. I still have the backhoe on because I haven't taken it off yet. But we're getting ready slowly but surely.
As you take a live look at the roads here in Plymouth, you can see that they have been cleared. The plows have been out. They're still wet, though. As you can see, the plow's doing a good job pushing back those snowbanks, though, to get ready for the next round. Reporting live in Plymouth, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pappas says Pelosi best equipped to lead U.S. House to support her for Speaker. U.S. Rep-elect Chris Pappas will support U.S. Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi's bid to become Speaker of the House when the new Majority Caucus meets Wednesday in Washington, D.C. Manchester police investigate possible abduction. Manchester police are investigating the possible abduction of an adult male. Police responded at 7:48 p.m. to a residence on Silver Street. Police said that the man returned to the home while officers were on scene. He was treated for minor injuries at the scene. The incident remains under investigation. Anyone with information about this incident that leads to the identification of a suspect is asked to call the Manchester Police Detective Unit reference case number 18-18352 or the Manchester Police Crime Line at 603-624-4040. And let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market for this Tuesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow and S&P 500 rise on hopes for a U.S.-China trade truce. Stocks closed higher after a choppy session on Tuesday as comments from President Donald Trump's economic advisors sparked some hope the U.S. and China will strike a compression on trade. Trump threatens to cut subsidies for GM. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
The zip code you're born into can determine your future. Your school, your job, your dreams, your problems. But at the Y, we create opportunities for everyone, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, donate to your local Y today.
President Trump now threatening to cut all subsidies to General Motors after the company announced thousands of job cuts and the closures of 5 factories. The president tweeting in part, very disappointed with General Motors and their CEO. Then going on to say, nothing being closed in Mexico and China. The U.S. saved General Motors, and this is the thanks we get. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders told reporters the administration is looking at a specific timeline for pulling subsidies.
This is not about the president. It's about the fact that they're making a car, frankly, that people don't want to buy. And hopefully they will make adjustments and make changes and bring those workers back.
Well, the cuts hurt President Trump's campaign promise to bring back jobs to the U.S. GM says the moves are in response to a shift in consumer purchases.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.